welcome to session 4 of the Sophisticated Murder Hobos in the 4th adventure of the Ashes of War campaign. For a fate point, who would like to take us through what happened last time?
I can, I guess. As always, we have Muscles, the Merchant, and Flowerhead. I went to go scout the goblin area. That one ran after a group of goblins, and those two decided to leave a note in the dirt for me saying we left. And by we, I thought they meant we. So I covered up all the tracks so no one would follow them and found them. Well, me covering up the tracks also meant that he couldn't find us. We spent the night. He had his turkey leg and pickle, however he gets those. And needless to say, we ended up getting cornered like by 20 goblins. I tried to talk to them unsuccessfully, and we all just kind of ended up running. In the morning, I went back for this one, and we just decided it was probably a good idea to go north and try to find the humans. We eventually found said humans, said, we'll be right back. Sometime later, not anywhere close to right back, comes like a whole troop of humans in armor and not their greatest attitudes. And the little humans talked to the other little humans, and this one thought he was a bird in a tree, not fooling anybody. And a consensus was made of one of their 3 leader people was going to meet with the Viscount Valthuria, and we decided to try to give her a heads up that they were on their way. Well, that didn't work out too well. And the guy beat us there. After baths were had, we got to meet with her. She said, oh hey, we're gonna have a big fancy dinner. Not you two, but you two can come. Crag and I managed not to get in trouble or kill anybody, which is saying a lot for the two of us. And the very next day, there was some discussion. The thing wits happened.
The 12 wits happened.
And pretty much at this point, we're gonna discuss our next moves. Do we go back to the goblins, see if we can't figure something out with them? Do we try to go to the quarry, do something with that? Or do we go to the nobles and do something with that? At this interim, I asked for permission to go into the city to kind of help gather some of the skeletons out there and possibly look for some other things. And yeah.
Okay.
I'm about to head out, whoever wants to come with me.
So,
Because I'm sure the humans don't need permission.
take a fate point. Does anyone else have anything else to add? It's okay if the answer is no. It's okay if the answer is yes.
No.
So, the main thing was that so far, at least, during dinner, etc., House Veridan, I believe it was, and all of the entourage was otherwise deferential to Valthuria, I believe.
So, you mean the house that you found and got to come to Surin?
Yes.
That was House Boldran.
Sorry, excuse me. That's why I have that crossed off. There we go.
There was talk of another house that you overheard.
House Veridin.
Variadran.
Variadran. Yep. To the south, correct?
So
That was the royalty of Surin previously.
they held the previous prince of Surin was the head of House Variadran, and so the big news for Velthuria was that the House Variadran survived, and what you overheard. Actually, I don't remember if you did overhear that. What do you have written down? I mean, take a fate point for bringing that up, but what do you have written down? I suppose you could ask about it too.
I don't have a lot written down other than I believe they were spotted running to the south or somewhere in the south.
Okay.
And most importantly, someone tried to snoo.
Someone did try to snoo.
Yeah, our little friend almost got laid.
Now, isn't there some concern that one of the noble families might be next in line for the throne and might cause some troubles?
That was exactly it. Variadran still had a legitimate claim to the throne. And that might throw a wrench in the Viscount's plans. Thank you, Jade.
Mm-hmm.
Okie doke. So,
No, I wasn't even there.
unless there's anything anyone else wants to talk about, we can get started. We just finished your duel of wits that you lost. Today is still the morning of Tuesday, the second day of the week, the second week of the month Onkanir, which is the 8th month of the year 796 on the human calendar. For the goblin calendar, which is also used by orc kind, it is the middle of the 11th moon, the year 3116. And for the elven calendar, it's the 42nd day of autumn, the year 18,033. That said, it is autumn. It is getting cold, so think like November. It is getting very cold and windy, especially at night. That wind will suck the heat out of you.
We're gonna need some heavier clothing.
Especially you two with your metabolism. You get cold.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Yes. So,
What's her freaking name? Dame Edorea.
yes,
Can I just go talk to her?
you can go talk to her.
I feel like if there's anyone to ask for requisition of autumn wear, it would be Adorea. Because she's like somewhere right below the fight count, but kind of has her finger on the pulse of things.
That was my thought exactly.
In fact, how about you ask her and I'll...
That might not be a good idea.
How about I ask her and you watch my back?
Much better.
Okay. Yeah, let's go find Dame Adorea.
Okay. Well, having just finished that duel of wits, you can find her pretty easily right outside of the audience chamber.
Dame Adorea, excuse me. Who would we speak to about a requisition of heavier clothing? You know, given that we're going to be on the road a lot and it's getting quite cold outside.
I've got a lot of soldiers to put in good coats too, you know.
Yes, you're right.
Would a donation of skin and furs possibly help?
Skin might.
We do have like a deer and 2 entire boars.
And a crag.
I think he wants his skin. That was a joke.
Do I look like an orc to you?
No. I believe the implication is that he could go hunting for us.
Indeed.
Yes. What my partner has just said is,
We can see what we can do. We'll be back.
All right.
unless you don't want skin and furs.
She's waiting to see how many we have.
Okay.
She doesn't want to overpromise coats and have us bring back tattered old skins.
Or an entire rabbit. That
Or
might not-
one whole rabbit.
Have we already stripped the deer?
You're very young, man.
I'm older than you.
That's all she says, though.
Good day, Mom.
You're young in your spirit.
Oh, thank you.
Pocket wanted to go look around the city. Is that what you two are proposing to do as well? What are you trying to do?
I think we were gonna check on if we actually have skins and furs currently that we can part with.
And I'm going to talk to Crag.
And he's gonna talk to Crag.
And you're going to talk to Crag. You do have that deer skin that you have not done anything with that we can say that you stripped and cured.
So we've got a deer,
Does Crag know how to cure things?
2 boar hide.
Tanning.
Tanning is being learned by Crag.
I mean, it's being learned,
Mm-hmm.
but not very fast.
Okay.
So we could have stripped it down, but it wouldn't be a fully tanned hide at all.
What is tanning
Kind of
rooted in?
thing. What is what?
Tanning,
Perception and agility.
perceptuality.
I
Let's
thought
see.
tanning was fort.
Oh, I think you're right, actually. That's one of the few...
That's why I haven't gotten very far in learning it.
That's
'cause I
right.
keep putting it into fort.
That's right.
Agility fort.
I beg your pardon.
That might be a really good source of money, though. Trade,
Yeah.
considering we don't have a lot.
What's money?
And given how we can use that to make armor,
I can work on
you know,
that.
I have a fantastic idea.
That's also what I want. Anyway. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, yes, I go looking for Crag.
Before you do that,
Before I do that,
I'm not good at hunting.
neither am I.
Crag's not good at tanning necessarily.
Yes.
I could tan the hides we do have while Crag goes out hunting. So we can kind of do 2 birds with 1 stone.
Well, I was just going to say, why don't we bring it to the tanner?
Is there a tanner to bring it to?
May I make a circles test?
We may make a circles test. Let us
Yes,
construct-
this is what I was here. This is what I'm built for.
Okay. So this would be using your Wyval circle. So I would say this is an uncommon occupation within the setting, because basically you're looking for a tanner that followed the regiment
Yeah.
to support it from Wyval or the surrounding area. So it starts with a 1 plus
Or a
2.
tanner in the column that just. Oh no, that was just the entourage. Never mind.
Yep. So it starts with a 1 plus 2 for the occupation, and if it was from the entourage from House Boladran, it is outside of your circle, because that would be a Surin circle. Would you say that this is a same station, rank, or social class, or a lower one?
It's hard to pin down. I'd probably say lower with what I'm doing.
Okay. All right. So it becomes that 3.
Although
becomes-
I personally would not look down on it as lower. Leone would not.
And in the state of this area, it might be higher. With
That
the
is a
winter
point.
coming up.
I would be okay mixing those two. You know, he is a in-demand craftsperson if he is there, but he's just getting on his feet from a city that is just wiped out. So we can keep that the same. Disposition and character knowledge, common to the circle. I'm good with that. So that it stays a 3. How long are you willing to take with this?
Well, if we're sending Crag out to hunt, that's an all-day affair, anyway.
That sounds like a week-long affair.
How long are we going to be here for? We need provisions, anyway.
Yeah.
A week is fine. So, couple days?
Okay. A couple days. So, are we saying unusual for this character? Or it doesn't matter? Doesn't sound like right here, right now.
It doesn't sound right here, right now. But is there... what page is this on?
381.
I would say a little bit. Unusual for this character, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so it becomes a 4. An OB4 circles test.
Okay, and do I get to circle anything in?
So your affiliation or your reputation? I think you do have an affiliation.
I do. It is with...
Your employer, is it not?
I need that.
You can use it.
No, I had that in my original draft, but I don't have it written here. To check into that, I have an affiliation with a river-based smuggling organization.
Ah, well, there are rivers here.
And a reputation dealing with the Wyval Underground. But whether this tanner is associated with those, with the trade along the river, would be the question. If that would apply or not. That being said, he may not know that he's related to that, and that's hey, we get our skins from this guy down, but I don't think skins are contraband, so I would say no.
So
it's not contraband.
I would say just because it's not contraband doesn't mean they don't know it. So
True.
If you use it, there would be a connection. If you don't use it, there would be a different connection.
Okay. And would supplier... No, can I fork in Wises here?
Skills do not fork into circles. To my... Yeah. Circles plus reputation plus affiliation against obstacle. If you beat obstacle 4, you get to name this person, and we can come back to them.
It's not good. It's not good at all. That's a 2.
That's 2. Did you use your...
I did.
Your affiliation. Okay. So the good news is you did, after walking around a lot on that first day, you did find people that you're like, that's a smuggler. Just people with small boats by the river, trying to pass themselves off as fishermen, but there were just telltale something. You're like, I know you. You did not know them, but you're like, you're a smuggler. So you got to talking with them, and they did point you actually towards someone that they knew, and you are able to find a tanner. The problem is, or rather, they're able to point you towards a tanner. The problem is, the tanner is up in Cogrel.
Yikes. Well, that's not too much of a yikes.
And Cogrel is a good 10 days travel north on the road.
Yeah, plus tanning time, plus return trip.
Yep.
So, right, well, looks like you get to have your hand at tanning.
I've always wanted to learn, not tanning, but leatherworking, so this is close enough.
Some would say it's a gateway skill.
Okay, and now should we,
Find Crag? Indeed.
yes.
Okay, so you find Crag.
I get out my big fork.
Morning, Crag.
Yeah.
On that note, we are needing to go south soon, and it's getting a little chilly out there. I'm not sure how you feel about that, but we could use some warm coats and,
More dead animal meat.
well, basically, if we can trade some furs and some skins,
Not his skin.
not mine preferably,
Not mine either.
with it's a door, correct?
Edorea.
Aerith, there we go. Then you can get some good coats and not freeze our butts off down there. If you don't mind hunting for a little bit. I don't know what you have going on.
Am I just at the house we were kicked up,
Mm-hmm.
feet in the air?
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot going on.
Is that a falsehood test? Or a sarcasm test?
Sarcasm test, but I don't know.
How about we ask you pretty please?
Fine.
And I'll...
I'll get up, grab my shield and spear, walk out the door.
Good luck.
I
So you're gonna go hunting.
would offer my help, but
Maybe the pocket could help, but I bet she's busy.
speaking of, where's she gone?
1 step for them, 2 steps for me.
One step.
So what's the time frame of this venture that you're talking about right now?
Well, they didn't give me one. I just left.
You just left. How long are you guys going to be tanning or whatever you're going to do?
So I assume... Crag, be back within a week or two, please.
Well,
A week or two. You heard it.
Well, that will be at least 3.
Okay. Remember, these are 10-day weeks.
Yep.
a week.
Or 2.
A week, Crag. A week.
You said 2.
I'm saying one.
Leone
Somewhere
outranks me.
between 1 week and 1.5 weeks, please.
Well, I bet the
2
tanning
weeks it is.
tests
1
will
and a
take far
half.
less than his hunting trip.
Probably.
I would venture each hide would only take a couple days on their own.
Until you don't have any more hides.
Unless I work patiently
Okay?
and extra patiently.
You can do that as an elf. Okay. So why don't you construct the test for what you're trying to do? Crag, why don't you think about what you're trying to hunt, and we can construct an obstacle. And since you have, at your discretion, whatever you deem is in the interest of the crown, between 1 and 3 weeks. What's Pocket doing this whole time? For the rest of today and possibly the rest of the month?
I'm probably going along, picking up whatever bones I see throughout the street, and I'm also looking for, like, arrowheads. Like, there's been a large fire.
Yep.
Wood's obviously burned. But I'm assuming the arrowhead might have survived, whether it was made of metal or stone.
Okay. So you're scavenging.
I'm scavenging.
Okay. Is
Axe
there
heads, small axe heads.
anything that do you want to interact with any of the soldiers or work crews while you're out, or are you trying to keep to yourself? How do you want this to go?
I'll interact as much as I can without hostilities getting too high.
Okay.
I know how to read the room. I mean,
Okay. So let me go over to scavenging. You will find that the high quarter of Surin is almost completely burnt down, and there is the sign of a lot of fires in the Newtown section of Surin. Let me just take a quick peek at my map. Yeah. So Newtown shows some signs of fires, but the old town is actually largely intact. There are signs of fighting, like I described when you first got here, where just doors are ripped off the frames. Some houses are like partially collapsed. Anything that was made of stone is largely still standing. Some of the blocks might be chipped off. It's more that the wooden structures took more of a beating because they could be broken down just with, human scale physical abuse.
I'm assuming the soldiers have probably already gone from intact building to intact building, just kind of grabbing everything that they could of worth they could find.
You might surprise yourself, or you might be surprised. As you're walking around, you do see there's a lot of blackening around all of the windows and door frames to a large stone building in Old Town. It seems like it was an important building, but it's not the Citadel. It's a very big, prestigious-looking building, very impressive, but there are scorch marks all over it, and from inside and around the peripheries of the windows. No one's going into that building. So if you are trying to find arrowheads, I will put that, basically any weaponry, I will put that at an obstacle 3 for scavenging. Scavenging is rooted in perception.
Perception, okay. And of
so-
course, if I see anything interesting, I'm gonna pick it up too.
Okay. So because it's a stat being rolled in place of a skill, it's double obstacle. So if you're looking for weapons and other tools or bits of armor, it becomes an obstacle 6 for your perception.
I mean, I got 3 dice in perception. Why not?
Use it.
If we fight anything. Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll see how this goes.
Now you can work carefully, and you can either fork in other skills or wises that you have that would apply to knowing things, like a wise, or unfortunately, like foraging and orienteering are all in the context of outside of an urban civilized setting.
Yeah.
But there might be some other things that you have, maybe a wise or
Pretty much just like thrifty. That's about all I've got.
thrifty is a, let's see here, that's a trait, you say?
Yeah, that's one of my traits.
I would say have there literally be a streetwise. Where
There is a streetwise skill. So I think thrifty is a character trait. But you may assemble your die pool and take, you can be careful or work patiently or carefully, as you call it.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because I really don't know how sturdy these buildings are. And
Okay.
I don't need a building collapsing down on me.
Okay,
So I will be careful.
okay.
And in like a building setting, but if I'm out in the open where something's already collapsed,
Yep.
then all I'm really doing is shoving heavy stones aside.
Yeah, now let me just check one more thing, because there are 2 other things that are open to you. You can try and get somebody to help you scavenge. So patiently just allows you to use extra successes, but carefully is the one. Increases the test time by half, but it grants a +1 die advantage. Okay, so you're basically taking the next 2 days to scavenge, so that gets you that 1 additional die.
Okay.
If you wanted to try and convince somebody to help you, then you could potentially get additional dice.
I mean, I can have a conversation, but usually it's F off, so I'll try.
Okay. Who are you trying to converse with?
Probably just some other soldier that has
Okay.
been trudging through this
Okay.
town, probably doing the same thing I'm
Okay.
doing.
You can find a soldier, no problem. You know, they're all over the place. They're not hard to find. A group, or are you trying to find one on his own, or?
One on his own. Groups seem to have more of a pack mentality.
Okay.
Pretty much just gonna say, Princess Velthoria said I could come out and help scavenge and pick up bones for proper burial and see what I could get done within a few days.
Okay.
I'm hoping by name dropping, it gives me a little bit more of a leg up.
Okay.
Usually using the name of somebody's great one gets me a little bit further.
Highs or lows?
Hi.
Cocked.
That's way cocked.
But it said 5, so high. Okay. So you find a woman soldier who just seems to be spending some time alone, actually. She's sharpening her spear and just kind of being by herself. And you want to get her to try and help you?
Yes.
Okay.
Kinda.
How... give me a test that you're trying to do this through, because otherwise you're a greenskin and she ain't.
Pretty much just kinda say hi, ask her how her day is going,
Mhm.
and offer her an apple.
Okay.
It's my go-to.
Okay. And the test that you're using,
Is
you can even take a +1 die because you're offering her food. I don't know where you got that apple, but
She's always got apples.
is that your instinct? You always have apples?
I seem to always have some kind of fruit
Ah, yes,
or
right.
vegetable on me.
Right. I see. Okay.
That
Not suspicious.
I'm not good at this social stuff. I was not made for this.
It'll be an obstacle 3.
I'm gonna have to go with a stat of some kind. I've got no skills. I'm just gonna be trying to unthreatening as possible. I mean, I'm not even speaking in Clendon. I'm speaking Marin.
She has spoken to you and Marin so far. She's eyeing you suspiciously. And this apple. Until you give me a roll that tells me how this is gonna go.
Really, all I have is like inconspicuous. That doesn't help me any. Survival doesn't help me either. So I might.
Persuasion,
Nope.
haggling.
Nope.
If you don't have any of those,
I'm learning haggling.
willpower. it
Will.
is.
It's gonna have to be will.
Yep.
That's all I got. You say I get 1 extra die for
You get 1
apple?
extra die for the apple that you offered, so an obstacle 3 becomes an obstacle 6. If you can log this just as a test for your will, and assuming that your will is below 6, this would be a challenging test. So
Okay.
those can be very valuable, but at the same time, after you get 1 or 2, you tend to kind of not need any more challenging tests. So if you're trying to learn a skill, just think about which skill that's going to be. Persuasion.
I could start learning persuasion. That might be persuasion might be a pretty good thing to start learning.
The lonely
Considering-
spear woman and the hobgoblin.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn persuasion. Why not?
Okay.
Try my best. Okay, I got 2.
2. 2 out of 6.
2 out of 6. And they're not even 6s, so I can't even open them up. I'm probably the least most convincing person here. At least that one can use intimidation. Technically I can too, but I'm trying to be nice.
Okay, for 2 successes out of the required 6, you get a stay away from me, Greenskin, and she leaves. She seems afraid of you.
Awesome.
And you're back on your own.
Back on my own.
So, scavenging?
Yeah!
Yeah!
That's 3 days.
3 dice.
Awesome.
Well, whatever your perception is, and if you're working carefully, then you get a 4th die.
Yep.
Obstacle 6.
Alright. 1.
1.
I'm rolling horribly.
Okay.
City life just ain't for us.
I think this is why you guys liked me more as a player than a game master, because
I just...
when I'm the game master, you roll poorly, and I roll decently.
I mean, you're a fun game master.
Well,
You're really good with the system.
we'll see. Thank you. You do find a total of 4 arrowheads.
Okay.
They're sized for goblin arrows. You do find a lot of... Well, it's been several months, and the city reeks of decay. So you do find plenty of decayed remains that have been just kind of sitting there through the spring, through the summer, now halfway through autumn. And some bones and things like that. You do find some, bowls and pots and pans and just things, small things like that. Torn clothing, so...
Anything like that, any of the bowls and stuff, I'm just going to take back to the house
Okay.
or give to the kitchens and see if they could use it.
Okay. So...
I'm keeping the fabric for us, just in case we have to start layering.
Okay.
But any pottery, anything to that effect, I've got no use for it, but somebody else might. So I might have like a pile of bones. I'm gonna bury these. Mugs and stuff. Give these to the kitchen. Clothes. We're dumping those at the house.
Okay. All right. So that is your next 2 days. Back to you guys.
I have constructed my test.
What is your test?
So,
8:28 p.m.
it's 8:28 p.m.
It's 8:28 p.m.
Tanning doesn't actually give you the obstacles for tanning hides. But I will posit that tanning a hide equivalent in proportion to a cloak would be an acceptable obstacle.
Yeah, that's fine.
So a cloak is obstacle 2. Slightly carefully, but not extra carefully.
Let me just check one thing super quick. I'm good with an obstacle 2 on Tanner, so you're testing agility, so obstacle 4.
Let's go. I have good news. I have bad news.
The good news is you've got 2 6s.
Bad news is I've got 1 6.
Ah,
But I've got a fate point.
okay. A total of 1 success.
That's now 2 successes.
Okay.
Aw. We're halfway there. I'm gonna say that's one of the boars. I assume I butcher the process with 2 out of 4 successes.
So, this is a case of measure once, cut twice.
Do you have a tannery?
So,
Oh, right, yes. And if
I've
you're.
got a knife and a dream.
So, you do need a tannery. So, that would. Without tools, I think it's either +1 or +2 obstacle penalty. I didn't go in with that, so we'll call it as is, especially since it's half the required successes. So rather than a measure twice, cut once, this is a case of measure once, cut twice. And so as you're cutting the hide, it seems to be just about perfect, but you failed to account for how it shrinks in the heat. And by the end, you have a leather cloak or blanket shaped piece that could be further cut and stitched into a cloak or blanket for perhaps a small child or a goblin or a halfling.
Well, you know what? I'm sure they still need to make hats.
Okay,
Hey, I'm an optimist.
you're an optimist. Okay.
Let's keep going. I've got 2 more hides.
You've got 2 more hides. Let's have it.
So +1 obstacle for insufficient tools.
Let me double check that.
I mean, I'm gonna roll anyways.
I know,
So it's gonna be fun in the end.
especially when your agility goes up.
Especially when I roll all successes. And I might not need to open anything at all.
Ooh, so skills require the appropriate item purchased with resource points or resources, lest the character suffer a double obstacle penalty for all tests.
Oh,
So I would call that, since you're already at double obstacle, rather than doubling the double, it will simply be a triple.
Okay. So instead of obstacle 4, it's obstacle 6.
Yeah,
I'm 1 short, but I have 2 6s. And a lot of fate.
and a lot of fate.
Oh,
Still no?
The curse of the Morgan strikes.
I have a persona.
You have a persona.
Bless me.
I did. I blessed you with the 5, and
was
then the Morgan. The Morgan overruled it. Okay, you saw that as well as I did.
I did. I've got a 5 out of 6.
Okay, and this again was for a cloak or blanket?
For a cloak or blanket.
Okay. So it looks like it's gonna come just perfectly, and then you're just waiting, and there's the crackling of the fire, and you actually doze off, and you start up awake, and the first thing that you see is what used to be your beautiful piece of almost cured leather with a hole burnt through the center, sending smoke signals up. So you have a leather donut now, a giant leather donut.
Poncho?
You know what? Crag will really appreciate this.
I mean, it would be like a dicky collar for him, basically.
Crag would really appreciate this.
Okay,
Last one.
last one.
Don't fuck me. So, the good news is we're 2/3 of the way there.
So 4 out of the required 6.
The good news is I have a 6
1 6
and a fate point.
and a fate point.
5
out of 6. You must not have been sleeping very well this week, because you are hit with the gnat monster each time, and you're just burning through materials.
However,
However,
agility goes up.
agility goes up. And that's probably going to take you for the week unless there's anything you want to do with your practice time.
I am happy to sacrifice this week.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so that's Pocket for the week. That's Aerith for the week. How's Crag been doing for the week?
So on my way out of town,
Yes.
when I was either at the area hitting in their training area, hitting their weak little statues,
Yeah.
did I happen to see a javelin in there?
You're looking for a javelin?
Well, I need to have something for hunting. You're supposed to have, other than, unless my spear will count as a javelin.
So you can throw your spear, and you can use a spear for hunting. If you want a javelin, you need to either buy it, convince somebody to give one to you from their own stocks, steal it, scavenge it, however you want to acquire a
I'll use
javelin.
my spear.
Okay.
I just didn't, because it's a bow or javelins are required tools for hunting.
I would say a spear will work at maybe a +1 obstacle,
Okay.
which will come after any doubling. Have you opened hunting?
Yes.
Okay. What are you trying to hunt?
Well, 3 people can use rabbits for gloves. Deer make good gloves, turned inside out,
Okay.
fur on the inside.
Yep.
So deer, potentially wolves,
Okay.
pack thereof.
So that sounds like hunting wild animals.
Yes.
Obstacle 3. Medium game.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you have it open,
Mm-hmm.
and since you're using a spear instead of a bow or a javelin, that'll be +1 obstacle. On the other hand, you can fork and spear, because that is the tool you're using.
That helps.
And if you have any other skills like tracking or
Nope.
dumb animal wise or anything like that. I'm really good at losing dice. There we go. So even when I drop it, it rolls a 6.
Bring back 2 deer and 3 orc.
That's a failure. So 3 successes.
3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do manage to spear a couple boar, but as you're cleaning them, you notice spots on their liver. And you know from a lifetime of eating anything, if there are spots on the liver, don't eat it. You will get bad sick.
Maybe I'll have to work on my trapping with from the carcass of. So I'll maybe try to at least save the hides from them,
Okay.
and then use the meat to draw in something else.
Okay.
Because there could be wolves will still scavenge other things.
Okay, so you want to try trapping.
Sure.
Okay.
Because I have that skill.
Okay, and also just remember, you've got
Oh wait.
however much time you want, so you can work carefully as well. I'm sorry. Yeah, carefully.
Maybe next round.
Okay. So, trapping.
Because I have no supplies for trapping, so it's all what I can find out here to make.
Okay.
Maybe we're not talking trapping in this case. Maybe we're talking baiting.
Well, yeah,
Sorry.
be baiting.
So
I think we're talking baiting.
I would give you a +1 die for the bait that you're using.
Yeah.
So,
Because you're still hunting.
Yes.
You're just hunting with bait.
Yes, I would agree. It's baiting. Yes.
yeah. So,
Because wild animals aren't going to know instantly not to eat this till they maybe get close enough to
Yeah.
not be alive anymore.
so you have your choice between obstacle 2 and obstacle 3.
I'll do 3.
Okay. That will be foxes and raccoons.
Do I want to put another one? Yeah. What the heck? That's a success.
So a success?
Yes.
All right. So, over the next couple days, and this will probably close out that first week, you're able to construct a few crude traps, and you snag yourself 1 fox and 3 raccoons using the meat from the diseased boars.
Okay.
Is there anything else that Pocket wanted to do for the rest of that week? Because that was basically a couple days looking through rubble.
No, everybody's left doing their own thing. I got really...
Okay, so you've got 8 days of practice then,
Yeah, just looking...
or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, burying stuff, looking for stuff.
Okay, so that closes out
8 days of
the
practice.
first week.
You said that was because I'm not doing anything.
Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave Leone.
No, it's okay. Do I have 10 days or 8 days of practice time?
So if you did nothing for those first 2 days, you've got 10 days.
Other than send Crag off, no, not especially.
On those 8 days, I do want to practice by myself, out of eyesight of others.
That thing. Okay,
There's a big charred black building that you can go into.
Yeah,
quite a few of them.
Yeah.
All right.
that's what I will be doing.
Is there anything that you wanted to create with that?
Not right now.
Okay. Because for that kind of skill, the practice window is very long. It's like a year.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're... however you wish to do it.
In whatever she's working on, would it be better if she tried actually crafting something? As far as...
If she's trying to test for that, if she wants to improve that skill, trying to create something would give you a test right away.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
if you fail the test, something happens.
just because I create something doesn't mean others have to see it, so I can go ahead and use rubble and a couple other things to maneuver.
Okay. So do you want to try and create something?
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull up the rules that we put together. Okay. Come on, game chat. Okay. It's insectomancy, that's right. Phytomancy. Okay. What are you trying to create?
You know what? What's it called? Bolo? That you could trip people up with.
Okay. You want to create a bola?
Yeah, bolo. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see.
Take 2 stones that are roughly about the circular or round in shape, about the same weight.
So I'll say with just the plants that have grown up over the spring and summer through the rubble, we'll say that's an obstacle 3. Ensuring, sorry, strike that. Ensuring we don't use, create staves, weapon shafts, arrow shafts from deadfall, live wood. Obstacle 2.
Okay.
And you can work carefully.
I'm gonna work carefully.
So you want to create this without being seen.
Yes.
Okay.
That's for that skill. I want to go ahead and forge out a plant that is most suitable for the connecting piece.
Mm-hmm.
Something spry, bendy. So I'm gonna work in foraging, maybe.
Okay.
Just so I have the right material for the right job.
Okay.
Okay, that should. Two successes. Yeah, 2 4s.
Okay, so the companion vine that you find is very delighted at your attention and company, and eagerly wraps itself around the 3 stones and separates itself from the host vine, and you have yourself a now living bola.
Okay.
It will dry out and be a dead bola, but it's still there. And you can log a... How many dice did you roll?
I had 2 for foraging,
How many?
1 for working carefully, and then 1 for
the skill.
skill.
Okay, well, you have yourself a routine test.
Nice.
Hey, we love routine tests. They're
Especially if you have a 1 die skill. You love routine tests.
Yes. Oh my lord. 1 or 2 dice skills, really.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
So is there something I should potentially be learning for dealing with meat in the field, like curing?
Butchery, probably?
Well, I have butchery, but I didn't know if that's what it would fall under.
I would say if you hunt and then you use butchery and then you just have salt, you're like, that's it. You're butchering it into portions and then salt, throw it
Yeah.
in the bag,
Yeah,
basically.
so we can let it ride if you want. Or,
Okay.
or you can have a butchery test, up to you. Oh boy. Let's see. Fowl, small game, or pig, lamb, goat. I would say raccoons and foxes are still small game, so it's an obstacle 1.
Yay.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, that brings us to the end of the first week, I think. Victorious. So, you told Crag 1 week.
I told him
Then a
1
week and a half.
But at first you told him 1 to 2 weeks.
Yep.
I told him 1 to 2 weeks.
So-
he said 1 week. But then I said, Leon outranks me.
I may or may not have heard that.
So it really all comes down to how much Crag cares.
Yes, so, what does Crag feel is in the best interest of the crown?
So, freezing and being back on time, because what this is not gonna provide. We'll stay another week.
You stay out another week? Okay, think about your hunting tests. What's Aerith doing?
What is Aerith doing?
You need a minute?
I think I'll just take practice time.
Okay. What's Pocket doing?
Scavenge and practice.
You want to make another scavenging test?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless Pocket wants help with something.
I mean, are you done with your little tanning project? Are you out of
Sitting
stuff to
out
tan?
here by a fire, there's like 3 completely charred hides around me.
Arts and crafts.
Yeah, I'm done.
You're done?
Yep.
Okay. Flowerhead can come with me.
Okay.
Am I assisting you in scavenging?
Yeah, especially since you're learning.
Since you're learning it, you can, if you don't have it, you can help with perception.
So that is plus 2 dice then.
Yep.
Okay, I get +2 from him. And that was a perception test.
Yep. And you can work carefully.
Carefully.
So there's another one.
Okay.
Before you, what are you looking for? Arrowheads again and weaponry? And armor?
Just pretty stuff of use that's not damaged because, like I said, clothing. Coming to our house, we may be layering just rags on top of rags. Pottery, stuff that, you know, isn't broken and still useful. Somebody could use it. I just give it to the kitchens.
Okay.
There's no one to sell that stuff to here. And I ain't gonna haul this crud around. I got no use for it. And then any kind of like arrowheads, axe heads, weaponry.
Weaponry.
Yes.
Okay. Obstacle 6.
That's, yeah. That stuff I'm gonna keep on my person. I didn't get it.
How far off are we?
I'm off. I'm way off.
What'd you get?
Is that a 0 out of 6 or?
Oh no, that's a 3 out of 6.
That's not way off. It's like halfway there.
Do you have any 6s in there?
No, I do not.
Okay.
It's potentially a perception. You could pour a fade into it and get another re-roll a failure.
So you gotta have your 6s open before you can roll a failure with fade.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Nope. I'm about to switch these dice out. That's what I'm about to do. They're all about to go to dice jail. No, unless Iris head over there has got any bright ideas.
I have nothing that can assist.
Okay,
Yep.
so
Nope. Just fat nada.
you are walking through a burned out building when you hear a creak and you freeze. And you're like, what was that? And then you realize no one's sneaking up on you. The floor's gonna give out. And just as soon as you realize that, the floor gives out and you fall into a root cellar and you sustain a B5 wound.
Yow.
Are you okay down there?
My ass. I'm gonna climb out.
And then you're gonna climb out. Okay.
Which, you know what? Funny enough, I actually have stuff in climbing. You think I've used it yet?
Would you like to?
Would you like to?
Yeah, sure. You know, I'll climb out.
Okay, so remember your wound penalty, whatever B5 gives you. Is that a midi or a light wound for you?
It's not even a light.
It's a superficial?
My superficial's a B4.
Wow. Okay,
Wow.
so it's basically your obstacle 1 to climb out becomes an obstacle 2.
Okay. I got the 6. I can. Why not? Sure. I will. I will go ahead and.
Did you not make it again?
Oh no, I haven't rolled yet.
Okay.
A 5. I made it.
Okay, you barely are able to
barely-
scramble out of the hole in the floor. It was actually difficult because you had to climb a certain ways up the wall because the hole was in the middle of the floor, and so the stairs had already crumbled. You realized when you were down there, so there were no stairs out. So you had to climb up and then jump to the aperture of the hole, which also started crumbling away under your grip, and you basically
Parkour.
monkey barred the crumbling floor until it stopped crumbling, and pulled yourself out. Congratulations. So that's another 2 days of scavenging.
Do you need me to look at your new injury?
I think I got some splinters in my butt.
I'll take that as a yes. May I try field dressing on her?
You can field dress her superficial wound.
So that's an obstacle 1,
Okay,
which means
you get to test
it's
it.
an obstacle 2 for me. Because I don't have field dressing,
Okay,
but I do have like every other related skill.
okay,
She's good.
okay.
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good.
Well, actually, yeah. I did not like double it, but
Do you now have field dressing open?
my perception is not 9.
Okay, not yet.
Not yet. And we're not getting there anytime soon.
Okay. Right on. Okay. So you're out of the hole. Is there anything else that Pocket wants to do this week?
Nope. Scavenging and practicing was all I was doing.
Okay.
Unless, you know, someone mentions how long he was actually supposed to be gone. Otherwise, I don't know and I don't care.
Okay.
We would have mentioned that we told him a week to a week and a half.
We'll see him in 2 weeks.
We'll see him whenever Crag feels like.
Just
After 2 weeks, I'll go find him.
for record, he was initially told a week or 2.
Yep.
Ooh.
But I wouldn't have mentioned that. I would have just been like,
Yeah.
told them a week and a half.
So what's Leon doing for this week? And then it's going to be what's Crag doing this week? Or did we?
We haven't done it.
We haven't done you yet. All right.
Has that entourage left yet?
Yeah, they left. They left about 2 days afterwards.
I would check in every 4-5 days to see if there's any changes.
Okay.
With whoever is, up at the palace, basically. Or up at the castle, palace,
The Citadel.
citadel.
So you have your choice between Dame Edorea and Sir Kawald.
Sir Kowald was...
The other Crown Knight that you did not really get to speak to because you found Edorea first, and then
Okay.
she started finding you.
Maybe if you slept with her, you would have gotten those clothes.
I know, right?
That look right there.
Huh. What?
I'm just saying that in this campaign, where you try and get somebody to seduce somebody else, and you fail your own persuasion test, don't be surprised if the complication is they swing their sex gun at you. Just like in previous campaigns, when you break into somebody's house and will not take no for an answer to get an herbal supplement, and you resort to using seduction, and you
Who was
fail your
this?
test, and you fail your test, they become obsessed with you and stalk you.
It happens.
It happens.
Yes.
Such is life.
Such is life.
The repercussions behind that.
Yeah.
That guy was so creepy.
Yes, he was.
And also, worry not, I have my fair share of creepy people in this setting as well.
Yes, salad
Yes.
fingers, let's go.
Can we stab them?
Not yet.
Oh.
You can attempt it.
A couple of them, maybe.
Spear test, there we go.
Other than that, there's really no trade going on here. It's pretty much anything that comes in is extremely high priced or already spoken for, per se.
So I will say that since you guys have gone basically 3 months now, it's time for a resources test.
Oh, yay.
Ooh.
Yes. So this applies to everybody.
Everybody!
Yay! And then once we get this resolved, we'll talk about what Crag has been doing for this 10-day week.
Okay.
Because I've only done the hunting once.
Correct.
How do we do resource checks when you have 0 resources?
Carefully.
You don't have to worry about it then.
There's nothing to task.
There's nothing to test. However,
Someday I'll get resources.
And are we allowed to assist each other for this lifestyle chest?
you are. So, given that you have been allowed to stay in this cottage, you're kind of responsible for the maintenance of it. Your own food, things like that. So, none of you is, say, living the lifestyle of, say, maintaining yourself as a knight with horse armor and weapons and 1 or 2 squires or anything like that. So I can say that comfortably for the 3 of you, this is an obstacle 2 test that you can all help each other on if you wish.
Okay.
Would you accept
I'll
my
say
help on your
we're
test?
not gonna go hungry.
What page is this on anyway?
372.
Literally, yeah, of course, one more. So what do we fork in, or how do we help, per se?
So resources
just
can
one?
be helped.
With other resources?
They can be helped directly with other resources, or you can haggle the obstacle down. I would set this obstacle at 4, given the austere environment. So if you can make an obstacle 4 haggling test, you can haggle it down to an obstacle 1 resources test. In the event that you fail it, then there are a variety of methods that you can use to recover that lost resource.
Like haggling.
Like haggling. At that point, it would be... I could... Forgive the pun. I could buy haggling if you were selling something.
Oh yeah.
Then you'd have to have something to sell. Not a leather dicky.
2 leather dickies?
Not even that.
What about a whole bunch of unbroken cred?
If you want to set up a junk shop,
Seduction.
Garage sale.
if you want to become the first elf prostitute of the campaign,
Does
Then plays there's gonna be more.
It lives on.
it lives on
resources test like a skill or a stat?
like a skill.
Like a skill.
Suggestion, if you're going down that path, learn dancing.
That's a fantastic idea.
Bars are your friend.
We need a bar first.
If you'd like to open a business, you could probably talk to somebody that you know that's in charge of the city right now.
And I do know a guy that knows a lot about marketing and trade to help me with that.
Indeed.
Indeed.
I will not accept help on this test.
Okay,
Will you help me on mine?
I will help you on yours.
Thank you.
but there's a variety of things that you can do to recover lost resources. But let's worry about...
I need to roll a test and I'll need a resource test and I'll need help on it. Because I have to maintain my turkey leg and pickles.
Okay, when you return, we'll have you...
Valid. I can go out and help you buy turkey leg and pickles.
Yeah, you're living more of like the very base needs lifestyle. So we can say that you would have an obstacle 1 resources test, and you can get help for that. Bear in mind that if you are helping someone on a resources test and they fail,
You're also taxed.
that is also a tax to you. You have been warned.
Well, let me make my test first.
Make your
Well,
test.
Let me make my
Alright.
test first then before I. Boy, howdy, Morgan strikes.
Oh,
Snake eyes!
we're playing Monopoly. I give you a hundo.
Morgan strikes.
Again.
Wow.
Never mind.
Let's see here.
Is your resources taxed to 0?
No.
Does it only go down by 1?
So, how many was that a routine or a difficult test
That
for
was
you?
difficult because it was 2 dice.
Okay, well, if it was a difficult test, character loses 2 dice. The bottom of page 369.
Okay.
What was your resources at?
Can I put stuff into this?
Like, accept help?
No, like. Oh, but then it wouldn't be a difficult test if I put fate into it, right?
No, it would be. Artha does not affect the difficulty
Oh,
of the
okay.
test.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can add a die with a persona.
Yes.
And I can't. But I can't.
You need to have a 6 to open it, and
Yeah.
then you can
So theoretically, but I could add up to 3 dice, right?
you can add up to 3 dice with 3 persona,
Okay.
and it does not affect the difficulty of the test. You could also be the first one in this campaign to have a heroic shaded resources. Well, I'm sorry, the second person in this campaign.
Second person.
There's an NPC with a heroic resources.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Did I say the first person in the entire game to have a heroic resources?
I mean,
Counting NPCs.
it fits.
Oh.
It fits. It fits. We're rolling persona here. Don't
Let's
fuck
say there
me.
was one NPC in the previous.
Boy, howdy.
Not counting NPCs.
Oh, not count. Oh, yeah, it would be the first player in the campaign. Are we at a success now?
Nope.
No.
We're at a third one.
See, I'm helping you.
Okay.
Wow! Wow!
Make it stop.
Yahtzee!
Please make it stop.
What if you
I mean, if I could make it stop for you, don't you think I would have done that for myself?
Please. So is there a point for me to, if I only fail it by 1, I only get taxed by 1, right?
No, if it's a difficult test that you fail, it gets taxed by 2. Does that... What was your resources at before?
2.
So it gets taxed to 0.
Yeah.
So if your resources gets taxed to 0, you lose a resource. So now you're untaxed at 1.
I don't like any of this.
You gotta go for it. You gotta hope for a 6.
I don't like any of this.
Before you roll, for what it's worth, if you heroic shade your resources, but it goes to 0, I will let you keep your heroic 0 resources. So that when you get it back to 1, it can still be heroic.
It's still heroic, yeah. I really just rolled 0 on that too. That's real unfortunate.
It's not just that you rolled 0, it's that you rolled 4 ones.
I got, it's still a success. It's just 1, but that's okay.
1 is more than none. Doesn't mean anything, but...
It doesn't mean anything, but your tax down and your resources becomes 1 untaxed.
Don't mind me.
So that's Leon.
Months on the road has really rode down this wagon train.
It really has. So, do we want to do Pocket or Aerith next?
Does Pocket have resources?
1. I have 1 resource.
You can help.
Do you want to help?
Do I get a test for helping?
You will get a test
You
for
do
help.
get a test for helping.
I'm helping.
But, again,
Look, we're here.
okay,
We're here.
we're here.
We're going all in, balls deep.
This makes sense. This makes sense. I'm lending money to the elf.
All right.
Hey,
Look,
Now, I did make a recess source test before that I pulled out of when we went for coffee.
Yep.
Actually, never mind.
so obstacle 2. I've got 2 helper dice.
Mm-hmm.
don't you fuck us, Morgan.
Okay, 2 successes. So give a challenging test.
Just you. Not all
You
of
can-
us, just you.
Let's go.
So, those that helped get
She also has 1.
routine test, and then
Routine for help.
Pocket gets to make her roll.
So I get 1 for my 1 resource and then 1 for you helping me.
I'll help you.
And 1 from him helping you.
Awesome.
I'll help you.
You're not.
You're not
well,
there.
And you don't have resources.
I'm helping you.
You're in the now. I guess. Well, so roll.
And I don't have resources.
And I just double checked this because I know Sean fucked me a lot. That character doesn't need to be in the same scene to help with resources.
You're right. How'd that go?
I have 1 success. It's a 6. I'm going to open it.
Okay.
I think that's very dependent on.
Now, if they're across the
I'm not
continent,
actually
Yeah.
writing.
I got another
anything
6.
In.
Okay.
It's still open?
Yep.
It's still open.
And this is an
And a
OB2?
4.
And a 4. Okay, so 3 successes,
3
on a
successes.
2. You eat well. Namely you.
I eat well.
You eat well for other reasons. And so now that we've adjudicated our resources test,
Are you doing a resource test?
he is not.
What does that do to my
Okay.
resources?
So you made an obstacle 2 test with 3 dice, so you get a routine test.
Okay.
Well, the 2 of the dice came because she used Artha to open it.
But she had 2 helpers.
Oh,
so
yeah,
she
yeah,
had her
yeah.
1 die and these 2
Yeah,
helpers.
yeah.
And then, of course, you guys get an OB2 test additionally. So, what's Crag doing for week 2?
Hunting.
Okay. And you're hunting wild animals again.
Yep.
Okay, so that is an OB3. And if you want to fork anything into that, that's
Yep.
each key.
And I'll work real carefully this time.
And you'll work carefully. Okay, so we'll spend maybe half of the week solid just hunting.
yes. Give it to your gluttony.
Look, Here's
Wow.
the thing, okay?
and I haven't gotten to the.
You know those big Tex cinnamon rolls that you see in the gas
Pretty good.
stations?
Yeah.
They're delicious.
It was an obstacle 4 since you're hunting wild animals with a spear.
And this is the same kick?
5.
5. Okay. So you
By the dozen, it sounds like.
identified a deer run, and you were able to just wait and stay very, very still. And they would come by and they would mark trees with their antlers, and they would pick berries and
Die.
you picked a spot where the wind was blowing into you so they couldn't smell you, and they just got close enough, and you just gave it one good solid spear thrust all the way through the chest. Went in one side, went out the other. And you snagged 2 deer that way, a male and a female, 6-point buck and a female.
Ooh, I will keep those antlers. I don't know. Maybe.
You can. If you want to put the antlers in a helmet or something like that, you can.
Eventually. Maybe. 6 points though. We could do better.
Okay.
So, I'm guessing that then I will take and slowly start heading back.
Okay.
I mean, I got meat to cures, I got butchery time.
Okay. So you can head back into the city and you can make a butchery test. And that will close out week 2 for you.
Because it's probably getting to the point where carrying is, I'm pretty close to capacity.
Carrying?
Carrying it,
Okay.
all
Yeah.
back,
Yeah.
and that's a success with butchery. I think. What was the obstacle?
Too far. Ba-da-ba-ba. Bird husbandry.
So there's a great irony here.
Yeah.
Our merchant social character has had his resources taxed down
Oh, I'm back up to B2, we're fine.
initially, while mine have done nothing but advance. I'm up to B3.
How do you go from 0 to B2? Like
1 to 2.
One
to
from
2.
1 to 2.
Oh, you went down only 1.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm sorry.
So I would say this falls into an obstacle 2 butchery test.
Okay. I got 3, so.
Awesome. There we go. All right. So, towards the late in the second week, Crag comes back dragging on a sled that constructed of pine boughs, 2 deer carcasses, some raccoons, a fox, and
Me.
lots of meat and bloody pelts from possibly boars. And there you are. That is the end of week 2.
I'll leave again tomorrow to go get some more.
No, that's sufficient.
Crag, no, please.
2 deer isn't gonna cover you guys.
We're a lot smaller than you.
2 deer aren't gonna cover me.
Between the deer and
I guess I was
the
wearing
skins
human skin.
and the meat, I think we can trade enough for a couple of coats.
I can always wear a human skin after I'm full.
I don't think that's wise.
Neither do I. In fact, that's very out of fashion.
So if you guys want to attempt to buy coats or things like that, we'll simply raise the obstacle for what it normally would be in such a scarce economy.
I was going to wait on a tanning check.
Am I tanning these?
And, well, I assume we were trading them. I don't think we can just buy a bunch of coats. And so this is like helping our resources.
Will they accept,
We can sell the meat though.
We could sell the meat and we could probably just sell the skins untanned if
yeah,
you
will
don't
they accept the
want
raw
to.
skin in a trade?
Well, again, who's the they that you're selling this to? Because either way, you would be selling basically a produced material that is still not a finished good. So you'd be presumably selling it to a craftsperson.
So we'd be selling it to a tanner we don't have.
Or there is some other thing set up. Perhaps there's a de facto market of other scavenged goods that soldiers are trading amongst themselves. There's a wide variety that is feasible within the limits of your imagination and the context of the setting.
You know, it's amazing that we started this whole adventure based on the fact that we're cold.
Yeah.
And it is 9:30 from just our
places
shenanigans.
around here that used to be sheep farms.
I would assume so, yes.
At this point, they could be wild sheep.
Wouldn't they be eaten?
Maybe, maybe not. But if there's no one caring after them, they can be eaten and worn.
Do I know of any sheep farms nearby?
Sheep farms.
And or other woolly mammals? Native to the setting.
So my thought was, this place has been ransacked, burnt to, so there's not a lot of farm industry. People died. There could be farms that just left their livestock, and there's wild-ish, not necessarily wild, but semi-domesticated
And wild
sheep.
sheep.
Well, I tell you what,
Is my thought.
if you're looking for abandoned farms, perhaps you could construct a test that you could find them. If you're looking for a farm that has started to get back on its feet, you could probably give me a test to find that. I find it funny a little bit that you weren't willing to travel 10 days to a tanner, but you were willing to take 20 days to try and become a tanner.
We needed the stuff first. We needed the
You
skins.
give a man a fish, you teach a man to fish.
No, I think it was more or less just a, hey, you know, are there a bunch of farms around?
There used to be.
Okay. Have we seen livestock about, or has it been pretty...
You've seen livestock about, but it's what the regiment brought with it.
Okay. So,
And maybe a little bit extra from what they scavenged.
I'm sure we'll... If we find anything going south into the woods, we'll take care of it then.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Anything I find going south into the woods, I'll take care of it. Yep. Exactly what he said.
And while I'm not gonna get exactly to the day, we are now getting into the 9th month of the year on the human calendar. For the goblin calendar, it's the 12th moon. And at the end of the 12th moon, it's long night.
Long night.
Long night. So Crag would know, and Pocket would definitely know. Among the creatures, such as orcs, such as all of goblin kind, night is a time of safety. The day is ruled by the cowardly sun in the sky and the elves and the humans. The night is ruled by your kinds. And so later in the year, coming up to the winter solstice, where the night is the longest and the day is the shortest, you have a holy day, long night. It's a day of celebration, particularly among goblin kind. The hobgoblins, the bugbear, and the goblins.
So how about we just try haggling for clothes with what we got?
Are you going to try to tan it up, or?
That'll take more days, and
Right. Very well.
Why
Yes.
don't we just go to the tanner we talked about?
Because that's all the way up north.
10 days.
yeah, and we can try and haggle in like one day.
whatever.
What do we do? We're gonna go.
We're gonna go
Right.
barter
Okay.
Who was working on Goblin Wise?
a little
Not
bit.
here.
If you'd like to make if you would like to,
Yeah.
an Obstacle 3 Wise test, and if you don't have it, then an Obstacle 6 Perception test, to know that Long Night is coming up and what that means.
Sir.
I have 4 successes on a perception test. That was a 3.
Yes, there was a 3.
So,
You do know
Almost.
that they like the night, the darkness. You have noticed that both of them seem more alert and wakeful after the sun goes down on any given day, and in slightly better moods. Especially Crag right there, bubbly as he is.
what do you think about taking a night shift? Learning how to drive. You guys seem to be particularly fond of night.
I mean, when we were driving the wagon before, I said that I could direct us, but I couldn't drive the wagon. I don't know how.
Not in emergency. I'd have to show you along the trail, but if we're going to be traveling for long distances, we can certainly cover more if we split up the driving time.
True, but can Biscuit and Flapjack take that?
True. You're right. I would know that that would be silly because
Yeah, we're not driving a
Taxi.
sedan.
Biscuit and Flapjack would die. Okay, very valid. Disregard.
Unless Crag pulls
Excuse
the
me
wagon
for
at
my-
night.
Yes, Crag. He could pull the wagon.
I mean, that's a power test, right?
Of course.
That might be Fort, actually.
He could put Biscuit and Flapjack in the wagon. And then
It'd be a hauling test.
Which is under power, is it not?
Beg your pardon?
And that's under power, is it not?
Hauling?
Yeah,
I would assume.
I would assume.
Right. Yes. Down to the market. We're going to get clothes.
Okay.
We've left them out in the wilderness for 2 extra weeks while we practice and do stuff.
I mean, we can bring along the scraps of clothing that I've got to see if maybe that could help us barter.
You could always tan on the road.
I could 10 on the road. Let's see how well the purchasing goes.
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
see how well we do.
So, I didn't find any obstacles for specialized clothing, so I assume it's just clothing.
Clothing, yeah,
So it's normally an obstacle 1.
but given the market,
And scarcity,
2.
obstacle 2.
Yeah, your guys' favorite number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will haggle these people.
Okay.
You're
First
gonna
and
haggle
foremost,
them.
I'm going to haggle them. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Let me
Saucy.
grab that obstacle super quick.
Let me be clear. If someone tries to talk to the merchant, I will do the up, up, up.
Right. So, we had talked about haggling down the obstacle, but before that, we also, or rather, after we talked about that, we decided that before we do that, we would find a merchant that is amenable to you.
Yes.
Which means you were going to assemble a test obstacle. So it starts at obstacle 1. It is uncommon within this setting.
Yeah, I would say so.
It becomes a 3.
There we go.
This person would be of a higher rank given the scarcity of goods in this particular context of a ruined city recovering.
Yeah.
So that becomes a 5.
That's
Everything's
different.
fine.
Disposition or knowledge common to the circle. Sure, they're just trying to make a living on the side. How long are you wanting to spend finding this person and assuring that you have a positive relationship with them?
A couple days.
Couple days. So that's going to make it a 6.
Okay. Everything's fine. We're gonna find these guys. We're gonna find them real good.
Are you just trying to find a canner or a clothing maker?
Merchant.
A merchant.
Merchant.
Yes, who we can sell and buy from.
Okay, because we have all these scrap pieces of clothing.
Yeah.
You might be able to.
If you want spend a weekish, I can go hunting for another weekish.
It's not the price that's the thing. We're just trying to find the person. So far. So circles, and then I get to add in, you said affiliations, reputations, and relationships, right?
Not relationships.
Not relationships, okay.
But if someone's willing to help you,
Because that's, yeah,
say Aerith, yeah.
my handler is my relationship. Would I get a full 2-die affiliate? No, that would be for smuggler. This wouldn't be. Smuggler, merchant?
I'll definitely help you. That's now at 8.
Probably help with the haggling part.
Do you want my assistance?
Can you provide assistance?
I can provide 1 assistance.
Okay, I will take your assistance.
Here we go. Challenging circles test.
Those ones really love to just. They're coming for us.
It's my gift to all my players.
It's a gift.
Thank you. So
Especially-
generous.
Yeah.
What was the obstacle?
6.
Boy, howdy. It's a solid 2.
2 out of 6.
Solid 2 out of 6.
Yes.
In earning a test for circle, may I also log a test for learning the Surin circle?
Pick one.
Pick
Go
one.
with the cheese.
Do we have different circles? Like to write down, I mean?
Yeah, I would say we do. Yeah, so you've got a Wyval circle based on your life paths.
Yeah.
And if all of your life paths are city life paths, that's the only circle you have. Unless you have I think there's a connected trait where you get 1 or 2 other circles or something like that.
Oh, well, you'd get it based on your life path. So I would have like Wyval City,
Wyval, yep.
and then I also have an Outcast life path. So
That would still be Wyval,
that would be, yeah.
but it could be like low
It's
class Wyval.
Yeah, basically it's
Yeah.
the seedier.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The underbelly.
Wyval Plus we'll call it. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, so yeah, that's a 2.
That's a 2 out of 6. Okay, so you actually find that the merchant in question is really the quartermaster of the 1st Regiment. All right, so after a few days of asking around with the soldiers that you've started to recognize and come to know, a few of them, you get a name, Halen Gorenile. You know, this is the person that seems to be the receiver of all the scavenged items, and is responsible for parsing out supplies and goods. And so first you hear the name, and then a day or 2 later you start to hear specifics about where this person's shop is. And it's in Old Town. It's near the cathedral. You recognize this big, impressive building in Old Town to be the Cathedral of St. Costre. And so it's near there. And you do find it. And it's a stone building. Used to be some kind of workshop with the craftsman's dwelling on top of that. There are a few soldiers milling around. There are barrels of things stacked against the outside of the wall on the side of the building. There are a few guards around. There's some clerks at the window. It is kind of a window. And then there's one person kind of standing behind with the I'm in charge, hands crossed, arms crossed. And this is a Marin-looking woman, which means she's on the shorter side. She's got a characteristically thinner nose and blonde hair. She's wearing the surcoat of the 1st Regiment and a gambeson underneath.
Good morning, Halen.
Good morning. Do I know you?
Not yet, no, but my name is Leone. I'm just passing through town with a couple of my friends here. We have some tanned hides and whatnot, and a bit of coin and trade. We need some winter weather, if possible. We're headed south to look for some of the noblemen and other survivors from the siege. Heard you are the person to talk to.
I would be.
But?
You're a green lover.
Oh, them?
Yeah, them.
Are they with me?
You said me and my friends. I don't know any of these
I
people.
have a friend.
It's valid. We're getting codes for them, so yeah.
Technically, we work for Princess Valtheria. Thank you.
We met a while back.
I'm sure it was charming.
Acquaintances.
Mm.
Yes.
So what do you want, green lover?
Just some winter coats,
Yeah.
cloaks, mittens. What you can spare. We have these. Some tanned briskets. No. They're
Pork rinds?
boiled leather
Really should have boiled.
Yeah.
and coin, of course.
And coin. Good thing that you've got coin. Out of game, what was the fate of all those raccoon hides, fox pelts, deer pelts
Those are what we have to trade with in emergency.
in emergency? Okay, but for the time being, you've got coin. Okay?
I was hoping we can get away with just doing a normal resources test.
Weren't we all? All right. Well,
Coin and scrap fabric.
we can haggle.
And we're gonna haggle. Is this just dirty
Just
haggle?
straight up versus test.
Damn it, I'm gonna get fucking ones. If these roll 1, they're getting destroyed.
All right. So I'm gonna roll right out here.
You might have some social test to fork in.
Do I? Oh, I
Do
might.
you?
You're right.
Yeah, you
I
might.
should probably check that out. Let's take a look at the haggling.
I'm pretty sure it's like persuasion and oratory.
You could
PH.
just look at your character sheet and tell me what skills you think might apply.
I mean, you're not wrong. Social. Yeah, no wonder. I would just say persuasion in that case then.
Could offer him an elfin trade.
Falsehood.
Falsehood? I mean, falsehood persuasion. What am I lying about?
What are you lying
I'm
about?
not lying about anything.
You
we
could.
have coin. I'm not, though. It's the same. I am an honest trader. Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Unlike you. Elf folk.
I'm racist.
Got 2.
Got 4.
I think that's Grandma.
I think that's a Artha.
Spending Arthur.
We're spending Artha.
All right. 5. Or no.
3.
3?
Yeah, 5, so 3. Oh, 3 versus 4?
3 versus 4.
Man, this is...
You can do a trader.
Reroll a trader now. since
Oh, I can re-roll a trader, you're
opened
right.
your 6s, so now you can reroll a trader with another fate.
Oh, I wonder if I could have re-rolled the trader on that. No, because I never rolled a 6.
Right.
You can add another dice if you want.
You have any persona?
Yes, I do, and I'm haggling, so I mean we're here. Spend them if you got them, right?
Spend them if you got them.
There we go. We're tied. A+.
So we're not at a higher obstacle at least.
So you're not at a higher obstacle. You've tied.
I have tied.
4 versus 4. Let's see if it gives me anything about ties. If you have a call-on trait, that would break the tie.
No.
For
6 cents would be my...
Nope. That's...
Oh! Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Okay.
Oh boy, we got it. Where's the trait set?
What trait you got, Boo?
I have shrewd.
Oh.
It's just a character trait.
Oh.
It's unfortunate.
Why wouldn't 6 cents work?
Because it's not danger.
It has to be danger related.
Danger, danger.
Life-threatening event or phenomenon. Yeah.
Okay. If the success equals
I
or
can
exceed
intimidate
the
him, then it'd be
obstacle,
a
the
life
character
threatening event.
succeeded in his goal.
Oh.
So you have lowered the obstacle by 1.
Great success.
Nice. So it's from a 3 to a 2?
It's from a 3 to a 2.
Awesome. Would you like to assist me in this purchase?
I would love to assist you in this purchase.
Or would you prefer to make the purchase yourself?
I believe it's the same thing.
Okay.
You don't want to test his ability to roll more ones?
I'm gonna give his dice a break.
I
'cause
do
they're in
need
time
common
limit.
tests, so this is, yeah, it's all you.
Need what
I
tests?
said I need common tests, so yeah, it's all you.
Common tests. That's not even. Well, I have 3 successes on obstacle 2.
Hot
There you go.
diggity daffodil.
There
We
we go.
get coats and more.
You are clothed for the cold weather now.
It only took us 3 real hours.
And none of we'll make that work on our trip. Right?
Okay.
So
Does anyone need meat? No, or did you want to keep the meat, or did you want to
Do you
sell the
have
meat?
to buy meat to travel with? To eat?
So
You're right. We don't need. I mean, do we need that much meat though?
How
much
long are
meat?
we gonna be gone?
You're right. That's valid.
Where are you going?
South. I thought
are we going to the traders next, or do we want to go to the quarry?
So,
To the
I don't
west.
know where you're going. If you're going south,
So,
you could.
yeah.
Are you trying to find House Variadran? Are you trying to find the goblins that you just so ardently argued for at the end of last session?
So I told the Viceroy that she should reach out to the goblins with a non-aggression
And I
pact.
pointed out us green skins would probably get an easier time than you pinkies.
she did.
Yeah. Now, the Viceroy didn't say anything specifically about that, which means she's still thinking about it, maybe. Or she's taking her own initiative.
Or she expects us to take the initiative.
Again,
I just don't know where you're going. Or if you're trying to find more survivors in the southwest woods, I don't know where you're going.
I was going to consult with my acquaintance here.
Your acquaintance.
Yeah.
Your acquaintance.
So,
I could have hunted another week.
there's a quarry up here that was occupied by greenskins at one point, but which Soren normally relied on for resources and still isn't receiving. And then there's the nobles in the south.
The
So-
quarry is.
So you know that that city there, Ardara, is still held by the enemy. All the quarries around this area that fed Surin were Ardara's quarries.
So what would we be investigating there?
Well, what did Velthuria ask you to do?
Remember, I'm asking you.
Dun dun dun.
Get the income flowing.
My list of what she specifically asked for is to get people security and food for Surin. I'm not sure, unless we're recruiting the greenskins, that we're going to get any of those.
Didn't she
from the
want some
quarry.
other predominant houses that can bring money in?
City with no people. Enemy holds Adara. No way to feed the people. No way to protect the city. We can't take Adara back,
Not by yourselves.
We have a crag, but
so we need to wait for more people.
So, why don't you think about that? I'm gonna take my own restroom break super quick.
Goblins are blue.
They're
Orcs are
not.
green.
are goblins the one holding Adara?
No, goblins are the one that's in the forest.
Yeah.
That we have to.
There probably are some goblins in Ardara, though.
I don't think anyone in this party is the one to be parlaying with goblins. They're probably either going to kill us or ignore us.
Did you say the goblins didn't like you?
Nobody likes me.
Goblins can't kill
Really, you?
anything. They're goblins.
Nobody likes me.
I'm a nobody to you?
He thinks goblins can kill things.
They can.
At least finding some noble houses in the middle of the woods
3,000 of
will
them?
free up some
Actually, probably
funds
yes.
and probably money.
There's only a couple of
So,
hundred.
yeah, I was gonna say,
But I could see.
now that we have potentially people moving into the city, like a good 1 or 4,000, depending on what Holotron brings, now would be a good time possibly to go seek out nobles and see if they want to return and reinvest into Surin. But that's my logic.
Is that dried out?
Yes, let's head into the woods again.
Just opened it.
Oh.
We can't do much about the quarry, so we may as well do much about the nobles.
And we were definitely told to just get them back to Surin, not to take any out.
Right.
I'm pretty sure.
What do you mean by that?
Not sure anyone asked us to do any assassinating. Where'd you get that idea?
I mean,
Are you just being cheeky?
maybe.
Is there a
All
conversation that you want to have?
I mean, we can go talk to Valtheria maybe and ask her if she has a new stance on the situation, since our guests have possibly changed opinions for the good of the crown, and maybe doing something we're actually good at.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to ask her, like, opinion and direction, since we're her agents.
Very well.
I suppose I am curious, because I never figured out last time whether or not the people that Voltron's bringing are, at this moment, enough to get the city off its foot, or if she wants us to still look for more civilians.
Well, let's go have a talk with her, I guess, now
Yeah.
that we're ready to head out.
We did get winter clothes, right?
You got
Yes.
winter
We got
clothes.
winter
Yes.
clothes.
After 3 hours of gaming
We got winter
and
clothes.
21 days of in-game time.
Hey, you know what? Player and character both free. We are happy with this development.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I upgraded agility.
You upgraded agility.
And resources.
Yep.
Mark that down.
So, being you guys are going to take another week with all of this, do you want me to go hunting some more?
No, we're just going to go
No.
up there this morning.
Uh-huh. I'm just going to the merchant 6 hours later.
How long do you think it takes us to talk to people?
Well, the rate you guys have been going, and we've been here a week since I've gotten back.
He's
Actually,
not
that-
accustomed to talking.
That's a good point. Did take you another 2 days of finding that merchant.
So let's secure an audience with the Viceroy.
So we're, what, half a
Okay.
week already?
So you are able to get an appointment the same day in the afternoon.
And bathe first.
Hmm?
And bathe
And
first.
bathe first.
I'm assuming that you've done that. Okay. And could Leon make a speed test or an agility test? His choice.
Oh boy.
Speed or agility, what the fuck?
As you're being shown into the appointment. Oh, look at that.
And
My
welcome.
bottom
3
is a-
successes.
2 successes.
Okay. You may imagine whichever form of sexual harassment you're going to receive from Edorea.
Understood?
Yep.
Slap on the ass.
If you want to take a steel test for that too, you need a routine steel test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I roll my steel against my...
This is just one of those, it just happened. Like you're now scarred. You can never unfeel that. Unless you want to have a swoon, stand and drool, run away screaming or fall prone and beg for mercy type reaction.
I got 4 successes on the steel test, so
It's against your hesitation, which is 10 minus your will.
okay, I succeed then.
So you can act like nothing happened,
But you know.
but you know.
You know.
So you're shown into the appointment.
I'll show her. I'll give her a look.
Okay, what is the intent of this look?
Enjoyment.
Are
You foxy minx. End quote.
Okay.
In the look.
Okay?
Are you flirting or not?
Yeah.
That's
Are
an
you
open
flirting or not?
open to interpretation.
In other words, would you like to make a will test towards opening seduction? Because that's how I could interpret that I would not need a lexicon or any other kind of tool to interpret it that way.
Cheeky,
Alexa.
cheeky.
You're like, I do not need to interpret it. That's fine if we want to open seduction like that. If it counts as a test towards opening
You
seduction.
may make a
then.
will test
A
towards
will test.
Yes.
Okay.
So close.
So what is this? Thank you. That's 3 will successes.
She smirks back. In this dynamic, you would be on the bottom.
Time to get pegged.
I think they're about to take sport.
This is why I have to be cautious, I don't want to get pounced on like a little
We can
meerkat
delay a
on
day
the-
for you two to take sport.
to take
I say
sport.
that out loud.
What did you say?
We can delay a day for you two to take sport.
The mongoose has found the cobra.
No. Onward!
There is always time for Brittany.
So, you get your ass slapped on the way into the appointment, but you're in the room. Door closes behind you. The throne room that has been turned into more of a map room is still kind of humming with activity. Valthyria looks up, but she does not leave the table that she's at and beckons you to come over.
Good afternoon, Viceroy.
Good afternoon, Master Leone. What is the purpose of this?
Yes, well, my companion has brought it up that we would like your guidance on whether the refugees that the Baldrin House are bringing back, if that is a sufficient populace to get this city otherwise a little bit started, and if you would like us to focus on finding some of those nobles in the Southwest Wood, or if
I am glad that you came back to ask. I am not glad that... What have you been doing for the past month?
Getting clothing.
outfitting ourselves.
People don't exactly want to,
Deal with them either. It's been, well,
challenging.
you understand, obviously.
All right. Well, for clarity, the people that the Boldrens are bringing back will help get the city started, but it is not anywhere near enough. More is always better. It was not an either or with the nobles and the people, because the houses have influence over the groups of people that left the city. So, will there be some commoners that are just out there on their own? Surely, but the houses will have, for the most part, found them and brought them under their wing, so to say. So, it's both. The two are difficult to separate. And the last thing that you came and talked to me about was advocating for opening relations with the tribe of goblins in the West Wood. So, not having anyone of my own, aside from you people, that knows goblin speak, whatever speak they do.
Epitacular, ma'am. Your Grace.
Whatever it is. I don't have anyone that speaks that.
So you'd require us to be your
That would be helpful.
ambassadors?
That would be helpful.
Perhaps trying to find the refugees first, and acting as envoys later is the prudent thing to do.
So, and that's fine, I suppose. Lord Gehrig mentioned that there is no other house or any other peoples that have taken refuge in the West Wood. It is only that tribe of goblins at this point. Gehrig could be wrong, because that's simply what he told me, that it's only the people that are under the influence of House Baldran and that tribe of goblins. In the Southwest Wood, I'm not sure how many of the houses are there, and I am told that there are 2 houses in northern Eklenda in the city of Churaden, and I have recently learned that House Variadran survives and has taken refuge at the city of Keta.
And House Variadran is a problem?
They're a problem.
Is this a problem within our purview that we might be tasked with dealing with, or is it above our station?
I don't think this is something I'm equipped to handle. You said...
Nobody has a station so high that they are above death. And so, the problem with House Variadran, and she gets up now, and she takes a cup, and it looks like it's a cup that's meant to hold wine, and it's just not holding any wine in it. The previous Prince of Surin was the head of House Variadran. And so, technically, they have a legitimate claim to this city. On the other hand, there is an old saying among all of us Eklendans. Possession is 9/10 of the law. But that doesn't mean that they won't be a problem soon or eventually. I need that claim to go away. Whether they renounce it, whether every one of them is killed, what have you.
Where is that city?
But I'm pretty sure it was like right there.
Yep. It is a significant trip to Keata and another significant trip past there to Churaden.
Who's Churaden?
On the other hand, you probably have to go through Keata to get to Churaden.
Yeah, it's good enough for me. We have to go through Kata to get to Churaden.
Namely because of the river
Because of the river.
and the bridge. Presumably.
Hopefully. Or the ferry.
Or the ferry, or your wonderful ability to ford the river with your wagon and swim when it
Or our
turns
ability to
over.
make a bridge.
Or what to make a bridge?
Our ability to make a bridge.
Or your ability to make a bridge.
Test for
Like a
bridge
figurative
building.
bridge, like in the hearts and minds of the children of the world, or an actual bridge because you're on your own.
An
I can
actual
use the
bridge.
skill of tree pulling of orcs.
You have tree pulling?
You could use a tree pulling skill.
And watch it go right downstream.
I mean, is it a bridge or the orc version of a beaver dam? Can kind of function the same way.
Very well. I think our path lies south, and we will send any refugees or news north.
Very well. One could argue that one views that to have noble blood in your vein means that you have a duty to the people that support you, and you are better birthed than them. You are better than them. They know not but for your leadership. And so it is a grievous sin to abandon those people to a long and dark future. And it has been brought to me by Lord Garrick that that is precisely what House Variadran did. So I am curious because you have offered me solutions, you have brought me questions, and you have brought me quandaries. And so I am wondering about the pace with which you shall solve them. You have suggested to open relations with the goblin tribe, yet you are my only tool to do so. You have offered to deal with House Variadran, and you are effectively my best and only ability to collect new information on them this far away. You have similarly offered, have the requirement to find the other disparate communities and houses. And I'm just wondering how quickly we can resolve these. Eventually, we will come into the winter. Food will be a bit more scarce. And that will be a problem, but the other thing that I wonder about is what are those other houses doing, and if left idle with ambiguity of our relations, what will those goblins do? Are there any other orcs around? Will the enemy in Ardara just sit and twiddle its thumbs and other pieces of itself? Or will they become active? What shall it be first?
Well,
I say let's take care of the problems at home before you go seeking it elsewhere. Hence, the goblins.
can you convince them to come in?
There might be a way. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but
I'm listening.
place yourself as their great one.
Who?
Anybody who can win a fight.
Pocket the great one.
And how do you suggest we do that?
Challenge. I have to challenge each house.
Would you like to make a Goblin Wise test?
I technically don't have goblin wise. I just
Okay.
yeah.
I am Goblin.
I like grew up around them.
May I make Goblin Wise to see if her idea sounds like bonkers?
You may make a Goblin Wise test. There is something bothering you about this idea, though.
Will Leone assist me on this Goblin Wise
That
test?
sounds
Rubbing our heads together?
Perhaps you,
like
since
it's
you're
missing a
testing with
step or
perception?
Yeah.
Okay, and you can talk with Pocket, and Pocket can assist as well.
I can assist.
What's your perception?
3.
Wow. So she's gonna get a challenging test. So I have 4 successes so far.
And you need an obstacle 6.
I need an obstacle 6. I have a 6, like a numeric 6.
You have a numeric 6 that you
And I
put-
have fate points.
Yep,
And it's on perception, which I want a gray shade.
yep. But you can re-roll a traitor now.
And that just traitorred me. Actually, you're evil. I'm gonna roll one of these.
Oh, one.
This is the gift I give to all my players.
So 4 out of 6. Nay.
It might work.
This idea sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have attacked us and they didn't. They chose not to. I would prefer talking first before we go to anything, you know.
Yeah, it's only 4 against 600. What could go wrong?
Yeah.
Those are easy odds.
Yes, I would rather not get killed when trying to parlay with them.
They don't get stuck. It goes hand in hand.
Is there any way that we can, like, implement a crest or amulet or something that the kind that pretty much displays 2 pink skins, that the 2 green skins are actually on their side, that, you know, they work for you. They implement, like,
Who are you asking?
Valthuria.
You're
If there's, like, anything that we could wear, like an insignia that maybe shows everybody that we were on a side.
Yeah. Running
Yes.
errands and continuing to have things been made difficult because people keep saying green lever.
I mean, it's really not going to change their opinion of us, but if they thought that we had some authority behind us, that might help. That we're working for you,
Can
for the
you
crown.
make some kind of social test?
No.
No, no, I can't.
Oh, come on.
Will.
Because
Will.
this is a good
Roll that
idea.
will.
It is a good idea if just between the 4 of you, you would come up with some kind of social test.
I can roll a social test if you'll accept it.
Sure.
Persuasion.
What are you rolling?
Persuasion.
Okay, and what are you trying to convince Valthuria of?
Please provide some sort of symbol saying that these greenskins are on crown business.
Okay, obstacle 5.
I mean, not just for us, for all green blue skins that work for the crown.
Okay.
Like, start implementing a program.
Okay.
Kind of like a gold star.
Is anybody helping?
Is there anyone helping?
I would like. I don't know, maybe like the regiment colors. Sure.
Do you have persuasion?
Yes.
I'm learning persuasion. That is it.
Okay. Now, fork and falsehood, I have exaggerated the fact of how much we've been inconvenienced by this.
Okay.
It sounds like it will go over well. So I need 5
Yeah, it's gonna
on.
go over great.
I need 5 on 5.
Uh-huh. And you've got my luck.
Get ready for 1. 5 of them.
I don't want your luck.
It's kind of like an aura. You remember in in 3rd edition, the aura of unluck, where you basically had to roll with disadvantage?
I'm remembering City of Dust, in which someone had jinxed. Let's go! 3 6s.
3 6s.
Okay.
Hot diggity. What shall you do?
I'm gonna spend fucking fate.
Unlocked.
Whoa!
Unlocked.
So
Wow.
that is 7 successes.
7 successes.
Whoa.
Congratulations.
What was the DC on that?
5.
Well,
I concede you bring a valid point. And so, with such irony, shall be 2 orcs walking about in 1st Regiment surcoats. And you shall have a writ to prove that you did not steal them.
Thank you, Your Grace.
And so,
guarantee they don't make it at my
in short
size.
order, a clerk produces a writ for you. Valtheria puts her seal on it. It is rolled up and placed into a leather case, handed to whoever is going to take it, and you later are shown back
I
to,
will look at it, but I will give it to them.
or you're directed back to the quartermaster Halen Goranile, who begrudgingly issues you to 1st Regiment surcoats that show the signs of bloodstains and holes that have been mended.
Now, are those armor or just clothing?
Just clothing.
Okay.
That don't fit.
It looks like you're wearing a bib.
I won't wear it.
You have to wear it.
No, I don't.
It is in the interest of the crown.
Says who?
Actually, it really is.
Says me and Valtheria.
No,
That was the entire argument you just overheard.
I didn't hear nothing.
I mean, you two can have a social test, or you can... or not. I mean, it doesn't matter.
If I were more orcly, I would brand it into his skin.
And so, where shall you go first?
So,
I don't want to die.
yes. Gathering all the information at hand to form an opinion. Our relation with the goblins has already been compromised twofold. And
Yes, it has.
the Viceroy was planning to, or at least was greatly considering, just ignoring them for the time being. If they were going to make a hostile action, it's probably not during winter.
That's when
they're
they
gonna
would
be
do it.
desperate.
So desperate to survive that they're going to attack a human army of 1,000?
Desperate enough to do anything.
Are they stupid?
Do you know their numbers?
You can make a history test, a goblin-wise test. You could fork one into the other. You could...
I want to make a goblin-wise test and fork in history.
That's fine.
Because I have history,
Mhm.
but I'm learning goblin-wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's times like this when I see all my sorcerer skills that I can't use.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my
Would-
surcoat
Can
rib
you?
trying to put it on. I can't
Well,
wear
I
it.
Can, but I choose not to.
Just make it sleepless. You'll
Would
be fine.
Surin-wise be
No.
applicable since it's within the region? Or
It doesn't go with
is this
my-
more on like goblin nature and
or
military
over
history?
it.
Rip off
If you
insignia
fork in
and
sewer and
just-
wise, you will
No.
simply get different information. If you score high enough, you will get,
I see.
in
But
aggregate,
no.
more information.
I'll pass on Surin-wise.
I can do that.
'Cause we need it.
Did you want to assist with perception?
This is for.
Goblin-wise?
Can I rip off the insignia on the surcoat and just
It's dyed in.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't.
Or round
I'm not,
it
I'm not a fan of
and just
person who's
attach
goblins
that to the
alone.
outside of my armor
There's
instead
four
of
of
wearing
us.
the coat?
Yeah, you could probably do that.
I literally just
Sure, yeah.
So what was the obstacle?
this little patch.
This is one of those. I think Chip would call them in
Graduated test?
yeah, bingo.
So I have 1.5 tests on perception, but also I have opened goblin-wise now.
Okay,
Victory.
victory. So, well, the two of you talk about a culture that neither of you lived in, but someone that you know that's right there has. But you don't need to ask her, because you two have it all figured out. And you realize that particularly goblins can be very crafty and mentally agile. And you can think of a few times in history where they have not so much done something that you didn't think they would do, but rather they did it in a way that the parties that they did it to had not considered. They are adept at achieving surprise.
It's crafty little buggers.
Like I said, talk first, violence last.
I
Yeah,
will
fine,
drive
it's
you
always
to the
fast.
woods But good luck. I can only run so fast.
Well, you know what? The goblins are just a day away. We can try talking to them, and if that goes over well, that's great. If it doesn't go over well, we can just leave.
They're only a day away.
We'll see you in the morning. They're a week away.
We found them on like the
Yes,
second
Annie,
day.
only a day away.
No, we found them on the second day in the woods.
Finding the goblins like the day after we left Surin or the day after we reached the woods?
So it was the day after you left Surin because you reached the woods within the first day.
Oh, that's a very short trip.
Yeah, that's a short trip.
Right.
Goblins.
In the morning. Too late tonight. I'm not going out there in the middle of the night.
It's only 8:22.
No, he has other things to do tonight.
Oh, are you fucking?
Are you becoming a breeder?
Are you fucking?
Yes, this is wonderful.
That's one way to increase the populace here.
There we go, yeah.
Wasn't that my
Alright,
original suggestion?
yeah.
That's other things.
Weather sense. Approximate time and location. It's going to be clear skies for the next week.
Okay.
That's like obstacle 5.
Okay.
Actually, I think that's accurate, but whatever. We'll see. 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of persona.
Uh-huh.
And lightning striketh.
Okay.
You know, the thing about autumn is it tends to rain a lot. And it's fucking cold. With that wind blowing.
And dark a lot.
Darkness doesn't bother me as much.
So for the next 3 weeks, you're going to see almost completely overcast skies, fog in the mornings and evenings,
Ah, yes.
and rain.
3 weeks.
Why are you looking at me? I don't cause the weather.
Great. Great.
And think early December.
Mm-hmm.
I am not the old one of weather. I have no power here.
It wasn't me.
I'm all for the dark and gloomy, but you add cold to it. I'm out.
Okay.
We
so,
just got you not 1, but 2 wonderful new sets of clothing.
which are getting wet right now in the rain. So, you're setting off from Surin to
Goblins.
find the goblins. Okay, how are you finding the goblins? How are you finding the goblins?
Tracking.
Okay,
I
so
can assist with orienteering.
okay,
Yeah, I have tracking, orienteering, survival.
okay. So let's first.
Make a drive test.
This sounds like a linked test because you have to presumably, in order to track them, you have to go to where they were. That sounds like the ravine.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get to the ravine. So it seems like it would be some kind of travel or orienteering test to then start tracking.
Travel it is. Driving?
Could be driving. That's peachy keen. So let me.
I can drive there, then you can track the rest of the way.
Okay. So
How's your driving look?
Getting better.
Do you need like assistance with orienteering?
That would be helpful.
this will be.
I generally follow roads.
Take a helper die.
Well, there are
Road's
going
right
to be
there.
roads until you get near the forest. There are no roads through the forest.
Exactly.
So
That's why I'm taking the orienteering temper die.
+1 for nearby, at least as far as you know it's nearby. +3 for countryside. +1 die for the cart and horses. And how soon are you trying to get there?
With a little bit of haste.
Okay, so that's an obstacle 5 driving test to move urgently, but not so fast that you get lost.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did I get my one for the horsies?
I told you the one for the horses.
Okay, then yes, we are good. You said obstacle 5?
Yes.
Look at all those ones.
Look at all them ones. Look at them 2 1s. Oh, that was a success.
That's all right. It was a 5.
Well, we have 4 successes.
Do you have any 6s?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Obstacle 5, right?
Yep. So we can either give this a complication or we can carry it to the next test.
Complication.
Complication is that you find the ravine.
Oh dear.
At night.
Well, you do get to it in the
Biscuit,
evening.
no.
You do get to it in the evening, and you content yourself with, because it takes you all day to find it. So this is actually at the end of the second day. That you find it, but it's dark and it's raining and you guys are miserable, and so you call it for the night. And you get up in the morning and you're looking around and you notice that they've erased every trace that they were there. All the cubby holes are filled in that Pocket was telling you about. It's like they were never there. Like they've just completely erased every trace of it. And so you start doing these like cloverleaf patterns all around the area to try and find any trace of them. And you're just like pulling your hair out, and it's after another 2 days when Pocket realizes that you're in the wrong ravine.
I told you should have taken the left after the oak.
And it takes you another 2 days after that to find the correct ravine.
So it's been 4 days we've been in here?
4 days since you got to this ravine, which took you 2 days to find. So you are 6 days out of Surin. But you have practice time.
Travel.
Yay.
6-day travel.
I mean, I can help you see at night. I can't help you drive. I mean, I can...
You told me to go right. I went right.
You're the right.
So,
The right, not the wrong right.
so, where are they?
They're that way.
How long ago did they leave?
Now, to be fair, I never
I ain't
saw
saying
the
they
original
left. We're
camp.
just in the wrong spot.
So maybe there were never any goblins to begin
No,
with.
we got to the right one, didn't we?
No.
Oh.
We're in the wrong place.
Well, let's go find the right one.
Well, by the end of those 6 days,
Yeah,
yes.
we found the right one. So, are there goblins there?
Right road.
No. They have not covered that they were there, but the area is picked clean. They have completely lifted up and moved on.
So,
The cubby holes are still there, but bear in mind also, it has been an entire season since you were here last. So that's 3 months of rain, sun, and wind that has scoured over this place. And any traces of finding where they went.
And to be fair, we don't know exactly when they left.
To be fair, that's true.
They might have left yesterday, they might have left last year.
so
All
when do you think
within
they
the
left?
realm of the possible, yes. Beg your pardon?
Trying to figure out exactly when they left and what direction they went.
Okay. That sounds like, unless you have another thing in mind, a tracking test.
I have tracking.
I know you have tracking.
And I have orienteering.
And you're
survival.
orienteering.
And that's the only 3 I can think of using here.
Would you like assistance?
Sure.
Orienteering?
Orienteering.
Or observation?
Not observation.
I don't know, climbing around in the ravine. I have climbing.
Climbing.
Royal Parks wise.
So, if you were to say something like, I will periodically climb trees to get a better view of where I think they might have gone, I could see climbing being a fork. If you were to say...
They maybe cleared out parts of the wood for fire.
Yep, they could
Yeah.
have. If you wanted to suggest survival as a fork, then you could, while you're up in the tree, be looking for gaps in the trees that belie stream beds, because they still need water.
Smoke in the air. That's a large amount of people.
It is a large amount of people. So it's really kind of up to your imagination about what skill that you are trying to justify being a fork and what its applicability is. If you were to say, composition, I would be kind of entertained about how you would justify composition as an aid to a tracking test, but...
Alright, so I've got tracking. I got the helper die. I got orienteering. Survival. And periodically climbing to get a higher view.
Okay. So, this is just to...
Figure out which way they went.
Okay, so... Given that it's still going to generally rely on finding traces of them. So after up to a season, I am going to put this at following tracks on her hard earth after rain. Obstacle 7.
I'm gonna try it. Why not? I'll try it.
How many ones does it take to get to the center?
5 ones.
I didn't get a Yahtzee, but I got 1 success. And I'm not
Hey.
even gonna open the 6.
We're a 7th of the way there. So we're lining.
2 1s, 2 2s.
No, it's okay. Okay. Well,
Where'd they go?
do you want to go farther into the woods?
I think they might be a lost
They went
cause.
south.
They went south?
They went hard south, yeah.
South it is!
Let's go south.
Okay. So...
Going south. They must have crossed the river somewhere.
Isn't that troll territory?
They used themselves to make a bridge.
Have you ever seen any sort of goblin bridge?
Yeah, it looks like a big tree.
I mean, I've seen rope bridges and
Good
plank
point.
bridges. I mean, this is a large amount of people, so there's gonna be trash, scrap, burnt, burnt fire pits.
So, you guys set out, and it takes you another 2 days, but you're going south. You exit the wood, and Pocket is still like, south. South is a new concept for Pocket.
Yeah, because it's the right of the mountains.
Think it's the left along the mountains in this way. So, yeah, because you...
I think it depends on how you look at the mountains.
Yes, away from the mountains, on the west side of the mountains, as the humans would say, if you're looking away from the mountains, you're going left. The center of the world, sorry, goblin-wise test.
Wait a minute.
It'll
Is
be-
Pocket just going towards the mountains because she likes to look at the
You
mountains?
don't know what the fuck she's talking about. She just says that way. And she's adamant, like, no,
What's
you
the
need to go that way.
difficulty?
That would be an OB3.
I think that's difficult for...
For 4 dice, yeah. But she keeps talking about left and right and farther from the mountains and toward the mountains, and you're like, what about north, south, east, and west? And she's like, what are you talking about?
Leon, your
Yes.
consultation for a moment. Perhaps the goblins are a lost cause.
They
So-
seem to be traveling south.
You are at the River Chessa after 2 days of travel. Do you wish to cross?
Is there a safe place to cross? Or do we have to circle back to Surin for the bridge?
Are there any signs of crossing? You know, like alligators, you can tell where they've come up on the bank. Where have the goblins come up on the bank?
So whoever wants to find a safe place to cross, give me an orienteering or other test. Whoever wants to find signs of crossing, give me a tracking test.
I would like to do orienteering.
I can do tracking.
You would do it.
May I help you with my river wise?
Yes.
You may.
What's your riverwise at?
I'm gonna try tracking.
You want me to help you tracking?
I don't have tracking, so
Oh.
You, do you want to help him, or are you going to test separately?
I'm going for test to open it up.
Okay.
So I'm expecting a big fail.
Here's the question. What would the orienteering OB be? What would the river-wise OB
Unless
be?
you want me to help.
So,
I'm not
Because
gonna.
we are literally looking for a safe place to cross the
No,
river.
was it separate?
so
Probably low then.
this is a graduated test. If you score higher, you'll get your answer faster.
Valid.
If you score no successes, you'll get an answer.
Very quickly.
Or
So I
not.
have 3 successes on orienteering.
3 successes on actual orienteering?
Actual orienteering.
Actual orienteering. Okay. 2 successes on tracking.
And he rolled separate.
Okay.
I
And
got 2 successes.
2 successes.
But mine's stat based,
Okay.
so it's 1.
You are convinced the only thing that came this way is wild animals that you would like to hunt. You have a hard time finding exactly where they crossed, but you are positive they went fucking that way.
Okay.
You have found a place that you could ford the wagon, but it would be difficult. And talking between the two of you, the only 2 bridges that you know of on the River Chessa that you absolutely for sure know are in Surin and at the city of Ivrea,
Which
at
is
the mouth of the river.
Yeah.
There may be some farmer bridges or smaller ones. There may be some ferries here and there, but unless you're going to take a tour, like a river cruise minus the cruise part,
Is it cold out?
it's getting pretty cold out, yeah.
We're going to Soren.
Yeah. I'm not sure I want to risk
It's only
the
a day.
wagon in
We can pick
frozen
up the
water.
trail of the goblins on the south bank. Yes.
You don't want hypothermia?
So it's not necessarily that I'd be getting hypothermia, but Flapjack and Biscuit are the most at risk.
Ah, yes.
You notice that the wagon just starts turning towards Soren.
Okay, we're going back to Surin.
Look, him, lost cause.
Okay, so you're going back to Surin to cross the river south,
Mm-hmm.
and then,
Pick up the trail of the goblins.
okay,
Unless Crag tells me otherwise. Because the only one telling me where we're going is a Pocket. And Pocket says south.
There's
Goblin
nothing but
south.
wild game that way.
Now, to be fair, at this point, we're going
What do
to
you
the
mean,
south
Crag?
I didn't see.
you are going
I
into the
seen game
southwest
tracks.
woods. Give me a moment
goblin
to
tracks.
type things down.
No goblin poo. No
So
nothing.
Leon, keep following Pocket's whims. We're heading to the South Wood.
Leon, I'll put it this way: if it's difficult for us to cross, are goblins gonna get across it with no cart, no horses, just themselves, and shorter? That's what I thought.
They do tend to find quite surprising ways to solve any
It would be
problem.
surprising. That being said,
Do you see any trace of that? I did not.
why don't you have a talk with Pocket?
No,
Why?
not here to talk with Pocket.
Wow.
Like I said, everybody likes me.
I'm here to keep someone alive and undead.
You don't think there's goblins? Pocket thinks there's goblins.
I think the goblins are a lost cause.
If you give me a gold piece, I'll flip it for you.
Well, let's just keep going south, because we're going to find something, whether it's refugees or goblins, right?
Refuge goblins even well.
As we trundle back along to Soren.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 days to get back to Surin and cross the river.
Mm-hmm.
And where are we going after that?
Into the southwest wood.
Into the southwest. Are you going back to where you were along the river on the opposite bank to try and reacquire the goblins, or are you just going right into the west wood, the southwest wood?
Southwest wood.
Going straight into the south.
Okay.
Maybe they went to the Southwest Wood. Maybe that's where they were headed.
If they crossed the River Chessa from the westwood and continued going due left along the mountains, then yes, they would have gone straight into the southwest wood.
Okay.
And knowing goblins, they would be looking for every bit of terrain to try and hide. So it is solidly in the second week of Nansima. It is in the middle of the 12th moon cycle. I can let you know when Long Night is here if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me a second.
Long night.
Darkness. Oh. If there's a goblin festival, maybe they'll be easier to find.
Goblin Fest 2025.
That's a good point.
You're welcome.
On the second night of the festival, after 10 p.m. when everyone goes feral.
It's more that they go,
Oh, there will be
horny.
partying. Lots
It's breeding
and
time.
lots of partying.
You should know all about this.
Oh yes.
So we'll smell it this time.
A lot of breeding.
Lots of breeding.
Lots of breeding. If you hear a moan, it's not the wind.
Oh no. It's 50 Shades of Green all over again.
50 Shades of Blue.
Okay, it is, from right now, it is 15 days to Long Night. Today is, it's mid-12th moon cycle. It's the 5th day of the week, 2nd day of Nansima, which is the 9th month of the year. 796. All right, so you're going straight into the southwest wood.
Mm-hmm.
What are you looking for?
People.
You're looking for people. Okay, how are you finding the people?
Tracking.
Construct for me a test, a die pool, and let me be clear. If you just tell me, I'm looking for all the people, I'm going to go back to following tracks on Hard Earth after rain, obstacle 7. Or you can tell me that you're looking for a particular type of person that would have a different kind of activity that would be easier to track. Think about that for a sec.
Bipedal that's smart enough to make fire.
That technically narrows it down. Not at all.
I mean, they gotta, find wood.
Do goblins know how to make fire? Because it doesn't narrow it down.
I don't care if we find goblins or humans.
Yeah.
We're gonna find trolls out here.
Why would you jinx us with that?
It's Crag. Why do you ask?
Because it's the truth.
He's not
Trolls aren't
secretly
real.
trying to kill us.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I guess a troll will get to eat you before me.
Not real.
I believe if we look specifically for the trails of hunters, because a human or goblin, there's going to be a demand for furs and meats in the winter where plants don't grow. So if either have been down here, then there's a great likelihood we might be able to find their traces.
I mean, you gotta find water source.
Got that accounted for? This is specifically a very marshy wood, as I remember the GM describing. So lots of small ravines and rivers flow through here. Man, why can't people be easy to find?
I know, right?
I know, it's because the orcs would have gotten them to the first.
I'm just following a crazy goblin and an elf into the woods. It's fine. Everything's fine.
I'm not crazy, am I?
Not an elf.
Or go.
I'm not an elf.
Wait, I'm not a goblin either. We've narrowed things down quite a bit.
Okay.
So, if I remember correctly, the southwest wood is actually very marshy. There's a lot of small rivers and stuff.
Yep.
So, trying to find humanoid tracks near water sources, and we're specifically looking for the aftermath of hunters, because with the oncoming of winter, people are going to be looking more and more for furs and meats where plants don't grow.
So they both need water, and so do the animals that they're hunting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that sufficiently narrow it down from
Quite a bit.
I'm smart?
Yep. So I would argue that is first a survival test to find a number of streams, and I will put that at an obstacle 2 survival test, and then it would be, if you succeed on the survival test, then you might have even an obstacle 1 tracking test.
Are you doing the surviving?
I have one in survival.
Do you want me to try it?
What do you have in survival?
I have perception, but I have a lot more perception than you have survival. And you could assist me.
So you've got what, 7 perception?
8.
8. So it's kind of like having a mundane 4 survival, kind of. So you would be rolling 8 dice and get a 9th die from pocket, but you can't help pocket because you don't have survival.
But I do have orienteering.
But you do have orient, and you can fork in orienteering. But it's up to.
I mean, I have orienteering too.
Let's look at orienteering.
Oh, you mean trying to lead a horse to water? I'm good at that.
Are you?
I have perception. But we're literally trying to find water.
I'm rolling perception. You can add your perception.
I mean, hey, I do this on a daily basis.
There's
Of course,
water. There's my
That's if
perception.
it's okay with pocket for me to lead this.
I mean, you think a stat's rolling better than a skill, go for it.
Okay. So
If she
still-
tries, she might find the goblins.
I think no matter what, we're gonna find something or another.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be trolls.
So, orienteering.
Trolls.
And then the troll gonna eat you before I get to.
Those internet
Pocket.
trolls.
And Leone.
I
Okay.
will be unhappy about that.
Ah.
What is this obstacle?
I don't know.
It's an obstacle 2.
Oh.
Well, 4, yeah.
So I have. Is this a graduated test at all? Like, will extra successes help the next test?
We'll call it a linked test, sure.
Hercules,
Because I have 4
Hercules.
6s.
So that would probably make the tracking easier.
Let's do it. Fate.
1 more 6.
So that is
That was what? Survival?
7 out of 4.
7 out of 4.
Because I rolled perception and the obstacle was
3.5 out of 2, basically. Okay, so whoever's making the tracking test gets 1 more one more die that they can make on it. Since in aggregate it's one
Is
success.
that survival?
Survival.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, tracking, extra die, orienteering, and helper.
You can help the orienteering.
Yep. And so for the tracking obstacle, since you guys did very well.
I think you said you would lower it to 1, but up to your judgment.
Yeah, probably. So fresh tracks on soft earth, like you come across a number of streams that is like that. These are clear tracks.
Okay.
That's a troll footprint.
1 fell behind.
Same number. I got 3 successes. I have a 6 I can open.
You will get more information with more successes. On the other hand, you can also, if I were to give this at the same level as a wise test, you would already have an interesting fact.
Is it that all the humans are dead or enslaved?
I'm going to keep my fate.
Keep your fate.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Actually, you'd have details. So, you recognize wildlife tracks. You recognize a number of human tracks. This area is frequented by humans, both as hunters and as gatherers. You also recognize orc tracks and signs of several fights.
We got orcs.
Yikes.
Which
Lunch.
tracks would you like to pursue?
Human.
I
Human.
think if we're gonna run into orcs, we're gonna run into orcs. So we better pursue the humans.
Okay. I think that's where we're gonna call it for tonight.
It's probably a good idea.
Yep.
Oh,
My dice hated me tonight.
I don't think. No.
I think
no.
all our dice were
No
cursed.
one. No one can say anything against that resource test. Boy, howdy.
Sorry, Johnny, 12 ones. 2 and 1? Fate?
2 and 1 fate. Yes.
It's disgusting.
Thanks for watching, folks. Hope to see you next time.